Peachtree TV. Good evening, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson. Last night, Braves 5, Nats nothing, as the Braves defeated Washington's phenom, Steven Strasburg. After the game, the Braves phenom, Jason Hayward, went on the disabled list. This all dates back to May 14th, and a headfirst slide into third, in which he suffered a deep bone bruise to the left thumb. It's bothered him ever since, and now he's on the disabled list. They hope some rest will help. He will not need surgery. But, Joe Simpson, what does Bobby Cox do now?
Well, he's got the luxury, Ernie, of having some guys who are playing pretty well right now, and one of those is Melky Cabrera. After a slow start, Melky's come on really strong, both left-handed and right-handed. I would say this is the guy the Braves thought they were getting in the trade for Javi Vasquez. So he's playing well defensively, offensively. You see in the first 53 games not doing a whole lot. His last 3 weeks outstanding. And hitting with runners in scoring position. He started the season 2 for 20. He's hit 321 since then. Some other guys are helping out there too. Gregor Blanco is playing very well in center field. And the Braves get Matt Diaz back tonight. He comes back off the disabled list, and he wears out left-handed pitching. I saw Jason Hayward in the clubhouse before the game. He has the new cast on his left arm. Said, that's not a good look for you. And he said, actually it is. I want to get this thing taken care of, and taken care of right now. So he'll be on the DL for 15 days. The Braves trying to make it 2 straight over the Nats. And we'll be back with more after this. We've already talked about the situation with Jason Hayward and the decisions Bobby Cox has to make there. Jair Jurgens comes back to the starting rotation tomorrow night in Game 3 of this series, so he's got to do a little maneuvering with the pitching staff, too. Yeah, and that decision to move somebody to the bullpen is not an easy one, and we're going to show you a graphic to tell you just how hard that decision might be. These are guys who are both on the Braves pitching staff in the rotation, side-by-side numbers, very comparable numbers, 55 strikeouts, 57. One guy's got a lot more walks than the other one. But who are they? Well, would you believe this? How about Derek Lowe, 9-5. Kenshin Kawakami is 1-9. Run support, a lot different for these two guys. So when you're making decisions, not that Derek Lowe is ever going to the bullpen, but you're sending Kawakami down there, and his numbers very comparable to Derek Lowe's. Derek's pitching tonight. He's on a hot streak. Let's hope that streak continues. The difference between having 9 wins or 9 losses, 2 runs of run support, but the difference there. It's Game 2 of this series, the Nats and the Braves. It's coming up on Peachtree TV. Derek Lowe looking for win number 10 after this.
degrees. And a partly cloudy forecast. Some clouds around the ballpark right now, but we're good to go. And it's time for the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry Big Smiles seat upgrade. My man JJ has found some lucky fans and is now upgrading their seats. Keep watching to see where their new seats are located. Sponsored by the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. Let's take a look at the batting order. Brought to you by Stone Mountain Park and Evergreen Marriott Resort. For great getaway packages, visit stonemountainpark.com. Niger Morgan leads it off again for Jim Riggleman's Nats. Roger Bernardina. You see he is hot in the last 3 games, and he's had a pretty good June, as a matter of fact. Ryan Zimmerman third. Adam Dunn hits cleanup. Then Josh Willingham. Pudge Rodriguez. Christian Guzman back in the starting lineup tonight for the Nats. Alberto Gonzalez moves from second to short, and Craig Stammen is on the mound.
And they'll be going against Derek Lowe, 37 years old, 6'6", 230, out of Dearborn, Michigan. His 17th start of the year. 9-5, as Ernie said, going for his 10th win. He's 6-4 lifetime against the Washington Nationals. And he's pitched well here at home, too. 6-2 here at Turner Field with a 3.81 ERA. And more importantly, in recent days, he's pitched deeper into ball games. He's pitched into the 7th inning or better in 5 of his last 6 starts. The defense behind him tonight in the outfield this evening, it'll be Hinsky, Blanco, and Cabrera. Again, in the absence of Jason Hayward. And from third to first, Jones, Escobar, Prado, and Gloss. That's the same as last night, as is the catcher, Brian McCann.
Derek Lowe. Last pitched on Thursday afternoon in Chicago. Pitched well. It was the first game this season, the first start in which he was not scored on. But the Braves came out on the short end of a 2-0 score as Paul Konerko hit a late home run off of Takashi Saito. He works to Niger Morgan. Quickly falls behind 2-0. That's Todd Tishner behind the plate calling the balls and strikes.
There's some guys that have had some good luck against Derek in their career. Morgan's one of them, 7 for 13. Need to keep him off base.
8 for 14.
Has stolen a lot of bases, but has been caught stealing a lot. If you were with us last night, he got picked off in the first inning after reaching on an error. 16 steals. He's been caught 11 times. The opponent's 4 for 12 in stolen bases against Derek. He's pretty quick to the plate. Can incorporate a slide step at times.
Bernardina shortened up on the bat. Chipper charged, and he took 1-0. In the month of June, he's hit safely in 20 out of 24 games, hitting .347 as the rookie. Same situation as last night in the first inning on these throws over to Troy Gloss. Got to watch the sun at this hour.
They've had some outfielders that they've been pretty high on, and they had traded for Elijah Dukes. Decided that was not going to work out to their best interest, so they released him right at the beginning of the season. That opened up more playing time for Bernardina and Jason Maxwell, but it's been Bernardina who's stepped up and taken over the spot because he's earned it.
Moves up to the number 2 spot in the lineup tonight. Here's another throw over. Morgan has inched farther and further away, trying to get a little bit bigger lead. Off the corner, 1-2.
And again, the sun an issue here for a couple more innings. Right field, definitely a sun field for Cabrera. And a little sun shining through the stadium into the eyes of Troy Gloss,
Fouled away, it stays 1-2. Not exactly the crowd or the buzz that was going through this ballpark last night.
No, and you knew there'd be a little bit of a drop-off after Strasburg's work last night, but you're right, it was a, as the players said, definite playoff-type atmosphere last night.
And every now and then in the course of a long regular season of 162 games, you need a series that has a little more impact or a matchup that has a little more impact to kind of get you juiced a little bit.
Well, you and I talked about it before last night's game. We couldn't wait for the game to start. We wanted to see the guy pitch like everybody else.
And he shut the Braves out for 6 innings, and they got to him in the 7th. All started with a walk. Eric Hinsky delivered a sacrifice fly. Yunel Escobar, big clutch hit. That missed inside 2-2.
I asked Chipper to give me a scouting report on Strasburg, what his thoughts were, and we used John Smoltz's scouting report last night. John called his curveball the best he had ever seen. Chipper said his curveball he didn't think was as good as Kerry Wood's, but he said for a guy who throws hard, it's the best changeup he'd seen.
Morgan is on the run, fly ball center field. Blanco back, and there's the first out.
Chipper thought his changeup was outstanding. I said, well, that's good. You'll get a chance to see him maybe 4 more times before the season's over. And he went, what? And I said, yeah. This is only the 2nd series between the Braves and the Nationals this year.
And let us not forget the work Tim Hudson did last night. Man, did he battle and grind for 7 innings to pick up his 8th win. And as Bobby Cox, as he reflected on that game, said, maybe one well-hit ball by Adam Dunn in that game last night, but he said they were hitting a bunch of grub worms. Everything batted into the ground, and we might see more of that tonight if Derek Lowe is on, and if Craig Stammen is on. He throws a sinker. May see a lot of ground balls.
Derek's keeping the ball down here in the 1st inning. He's just missing.
There goes Morgan again. No double play possible there with the runner moving, but that's 2 down. And it's always good, I think, anytime you can work the term grub worm into a conversation.
It's just one of those baseball things that you got to get in every once in a while. Derek's last 5 home starts, I mentioned has a good record at 6-2. His last 5, he's 4-1. And in 33 1/3 innings coming in tonight, he had already induced 7 double plays. So this field very much to his liking.
Here's a guy who goes to the big and tall shop, Adam Dunn. .6'6", 287. See where he ranks in the National League. In a tie for 3rd, Corey Hart, Mark Reynolds share the lead. Scott Rowland having a great year with Cincinnati.
Sure is.
Well, things have come to a complete standstill here as Dunn takes that familiar pose in the batter's box. And then Derek trying to get on the same page as Brian McCann. It's just rich theater here in the top half of the 1st.
And you'd think, well, maybe one of these hitters has more success against Derek than the other, and that's not necessarily the case.
Rounded into that shift. Escobar. Boy, this would be a great play. He got him. Yunel grabbed it, spun, and threw a strike for the 3rd out of the 1st. Braves will throw at the Nationals tonight. Martin Prado again leads it off. Then it's Melky Cabrera. Chipper hits third, and Brian McCann hitting cleanup. 3 home runs in his last 8 games. Then it's Troy Glaus, Eric Himsky with the big sacrifice fly last night to break the scoreless tie. Yunel Escobar, Gregor Blanco, and Derek Lowe on the mound.
Greg Stammen on the mound for the Nationals, 26 years old, 6'3", 200 pounds, just recalled from Syracuse. His road numbers this year, 0-2 with an 8.13 ERA, and dating back to last year, he has not picked up a win in his last 10 road starts. His numbers for the year, 1-2, a 5.43 ERA overall. Sent back to Syracuse because he was scuffling. Pitched pretty well there. Guy has a fastball between 89 and 93. Curveball and a slider. Needs to throw his curveball more, according to scouting reports, and maybe throw a fewer strikes, if you can believe that, and I'll explain in a minute.
He faces Martin Prado and throws him a strike, 0-1.
Opponents in the first inning hitting .418 against Stammen. Only 16 walks in 66 innings. He's throwing the ball to the middle of the plate too much.
They check with John Hirschbeck, who says he did not go. A ball and a strike. Martin continues to lead the National League in hitting at .331. Continues to lead Major League Baseball in hits with 108. And he's hitting .388 at home, which is the best in baseball. As you see on the hit parade here in the National League, leading by 13 over Brandon Phillips. Still got a couple on Robinson Cano of the Yankees overall.
Well, some news today that no matter how the voting turns out in the All-Star selection, he may well be the starting second baseman for the National League no matter what, because Chase Utley just went on the disabled list. Injured his hand in a head-first slide.
We've heard that way, 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 way too much. And I know a lot of guys like to do it, Joe. And I guess it can be a habit you can't get out of. But man, you are risking, if not life, limb at least. Rounded toward short. Gonzalez to Dunn, 1 down.
Here's Chase Utley's injury last night. Rammed his right hand into the bag.
So shortly after they get Jimmy Rollins back, they lose Chase Utley. Placido Polanco's still bothered by the elbow.
And that looked innocent enough, just like the Hayward slide. Jason didn't get up shaking his hand that night at all.
It's big time firewood for Melky. 2 down. And I'm just saying, when you do that, and it's not necessarily the bag you're going to hit. You hit somebody's knee, you hit a shoe. There's lots of stuff that can happen.
Guy can jump up for a bad throw and come down and land right on your hand with his spikes. A lot of things that aren't good.
Chipper totes an 11-game hitting streak to the plate here in the first.
Come on, Chip.
It's been amazing the way this has coincided with all of the retirement talk and the whispers and the impromptu press conferences and blah, 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 blah.
Boy. Come on, Chip.
Maybe it just needed to get out there, talk about it, get it over with, and then say we'll talk about it again later.
Right. Got that average up to 257 now.
Stammen made a start against the Braves last year and pitched pretty decent. He got no decision, went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, walked 1, struck out 3, left the game tied 2-2. Out of Coldwater, Ohio.
Boy, bring it up, Chip.
3-1. And the thing is, the last start he made was June 6th against the Reds. He pitched into the 7th inning, allowed a run on 7 hits, and they sent him down to make room for Strasburg. And now he's back up. But he was good in Syracuse. AAA. To second. Rubworms 3 times.
Yeah.
Here in the first. We're going to the second.
Question for us tonight. Send us an email, and if chosen, we'll answer it later in the game. Send that email to braves@peachtreetv.com, and please tell us your name. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Josh Willigham will lead it off against Derek Lowe in the top of the second. Hitting .345 in his last 8 starts.
Yeah, I started to make a comparison between he and Dunn in the first inning. Dunn 5 for 25 against Derek. Willigham 4 for 22, but 3 of Willingham's 4 hits are homers.
And when he homers, Nats are 11-2. He's also among the league leader in walks. You see on base percentage too, and you see him among the league leaders there. He walked a couple of times last night, bringing his total to 48. Is number 3 in the National League.
He's really a solid offensive player. He's played several different positions in his professional career before landing in left field, including catcher. He's always been able to hit.
Handcuffed him there. 1-2. Made a good throw last night early in that game. He threw out Melky Cabrera at the plate in the first. The reason that game remained scoreless into the 7th inning. That's when the Braves got it going and won 5-0. Derek Lowe into the wind. You see Brian McCann back there, and last night he took a foul tip on the right forearm. Just did miss the bone in his forearm. He said it was not pretty this morning. It's all covered up. He's got it all wrapped tonight. But that was very close to what could have been a difficult injury to deal with.
It was close to knocking him out of the game. It was so painful. Just above the wrist. Man, that hurts even today.
And you know what? Talking to him at the cage today, he said, you know, a lot of catchers can catch with that right arm behind their back. He said, I've never really been comfortable doing that. I don't like to throw when I'm doing that. So that's one method of catching he never really has gotten into. But it also leaves you open to foul tips like that one. The chipper at third. One down.
So check this out, Ernie. Where's Brian McCann's right arm? Can you see it? It's behind him.
He's trying.
He is trying, and I don't blame him a bit. He doesn't want to get that thing hit again.
Especially with nobody on, you're not going to have to throw.
Right.
Six out of 7 outs in this game on the ground. There's Pudge Rodriguez. And there's a line single. Will he think about 2? No. Big wide turn at first. Second hit off Derek Lowe. And here's Christian Guzman. His average has plummeted in recent weeks. He had it up to 345. He's now at 296.
And hits about 100 points higher right-handed than left.
Nats have not been able to put any hits together last night and into tonight. They're 0 for 15 in the series with a runner on. Not with a runner in scoring position, with a runner on. Guzman to short. Couldn't quite double him up. Good job by Pudge of not straying too far off the bag on a line drive, and he got back.
And you know what was going through Yunel's mind was, gosh, if I was just a half step back, I could short hop this one and turn it into an easy double play, but he didn't have that luxury, and the ball was hit right at him. Well, that was close.
Mighty close.
Pudge might have gotten a break there.
Here's the number 8 hitter, Alberto Gonzalez, playing shortstop tonight. Struck out 3 times last night. And this is a base hit to left. So we can ditch the card about the Nats being over with runners on base. They're at first and second now with 2 down.
And that graphic we worked on all day long that showed that Alberto Gonzalez had struck out every time this year at Turner Field. That's no longer applicable.
Here's Craig Stammen.
This guy's not a bad hitter.
I was just looking at the number, 273. And 4 RBIs.
Career average of 226.
But Derek Lowe takes care of him on 3 pitches. We're going to the bottom half of the second.
second inning. Let's take a look at tonight's leaderboard, brought to you by the Sunshine House, a tradition of excellence in early education. And tonight's subject is Major League Baseball home runs per game. The last 5 seasons, they've gone down a little bit from a 2.22 per game average in 06. And right now, teams averaging less than 2 homers a game in 2010.
It's the year of the pitcher, Joe. It's all about run prevention and defense. That's the name of the game now.
I think the Nationals are on board with that attempt at run prevention. It's the defensive part they're having trouble latching onto. 69 errors, that's the most in the majors.
Brian McCann takes upstairs, and just to show you where that falls in the Braves have 54. Minnesota has the fewest with 28 errors. Popped up behind second. Christian Guzman wraps it up. 1 down.
Take.
Troy Gloss steps in with 1 down.
Troy and I were talking a little bit before the game today by the cage about, I'd asked him about Mickey Hatcher, his hitting coach when he was in Anaheim. Mickey's been a long-time friend of mine. I said, what was he like to work with? And he said he was great, just a tireless worker. He wasn't too mechanical about breaking things down. But Troy was saying, he said, like most hitters, he said, I think you find that you're better off when you figure it out for yourself instead of having somebody tell you what to do that may not be what you need to have happen.
Grounded toward third. Backhand stopped by Zimmerman, and the Gold Glover throws him out.
Troy's point was that Hatcher would throw to you tirelessly until you just wear down, and then until you were so tired you'd say, okay, what am I doing wrong here? And then he would offer a thought. And you could see there watching Troy run down the line. He's still gimpy from foul balls and being hit by pitches. His legs really barking.
2 up and 2 down here in the second. And here's Eric Hinsky.
Bring it up. Come on.
You heard Bobby in the dugout. Just a slight message for Todd Tishner. Bring that thing up. Ball and a strike.
Get.
Eric's sacrifice fly last night in the 7th broke the scoreless tie. Sent the Braves on their way to that win over Steven Strasburg. He bats with nobody on at 2 down. Here in the bottom of the second.
Boy, get.
Does keep it low. Stammen's retired all 5 Braves he's faced. And that is another 1-2-3 inning for the Braves. We played 2, no score. Dr. Deborah Gray King and the Atlanta Center for Cosmetic Dentistry. The place in Atlanta to get a beautiful smile, like the old style, old school Braves hat worn by Dad over there. And nice seat upgrade behind the tarp over there, just to the right of the Braves dugout.
Great seats.
Top of the Nats order here in the third. Niger Morgan, always a threat to lay one down, takes a strike. He singled in the first. Derek Lowe has allowed 3 hits.
Niger Morgan has settled down their center field position too, Ernie. That had been a bit of a revolving door. But they got him from the Pirates last year, and he came in and has played great for them ever since. Average a little off this year, but he can run, he can cover some ground out there, and that's a big center field to cover at Nationals Park.
Derek knocked it down and threw him out, 1 down. That thing wanted to go right through the wicket, but Derek stuck the glove down there and threw him out for the first out. Here's the Curacao native Roger Bernardina.
Braves drafted a young man out of Curacao this year who was playing junior college ball in Oklahoma, I believe, 3rd round pick. And he was doing both. He was pitching a little bit, playing a position and hitting as well.
Jim Riggleman is happy to get this guy in the lineup anywhere he can. He knows he's got a talent on his hands. Batting him second in the order tonight. Last night, Pudge was there. The 2-1. Just missed outside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
That young man I was referring to, Hal looked it up for me. His name is Andrelton Simmons and was playing at Western Oklahoma State Junior College. 6'2", 170 pounds, listed as a right-handed pitcher. That's how he was drafted. Thanks, Hal. And thanks to Hal Kicklighter today, too. You know, he's our high first camera operator. Always does great work over there. Tonight he's working the camera when we're doing our opening comments. I didn't realize he was a mechanic, too.
Fly ball to left for the second out. Please continue.
Well,
it's a compelling story.
We just had a little camera problems. And he had to lift the lid. You know, had to lift the hood on it. And he looked like Mr. Goodrich in there going to work.
He can get it done.
There were nuts and bolts flying everywhere, and that was just coming out of his ears.
He is totally amused by this story, obviously.
Yes. Is that a yawn?
2 down here in the third for Ryan Zimmerman. Hal's part of that Emmy Award-winning crew here, Peachtree TV.
It's a good one.
Zimmerman has struggled lately. Grounded out his first time. Just last 17 games hitting under 200. Only 1 home run for a guy who's hit 13 and knocked in 37 runs.
Braves have handled him pretty well so far this year. You hesitate to say anything like that because he could break out on any pitch, but he's just 2 for 16 against Atlanta pitching so far on the year.
To short. Should be easy for Unell. Zimmerman running hard. They got him. 3 up, 3 down for Derek Lowe. We played 2.5. Scoreless. His home run inning where Tim from Chatsworth, Georgia will have the chance to win free airfare for 2 if the Braves hit a home run here in the 3rd. Visit PeachTreeTV.com/contest for official rules and to enter for a chance to win. AirTran Airways, go. There's nothing stopping you. All right, Tim, you got 7, 8, 9 coming up here in the 3rd. Or 8, 9, 1. Oh, 7, 8.
Who's up?
I think it's the Braves. I think that's 1 out. Might be a good idea if I do include Derek Lowe as the number 9 hitter on my scorecard.
But the funny part, see, was that there were days where I'd make out my scorecard, and I always did it in pencil. And then it would come game time, and I'm supposed to be doing the lineups. And somehow, during the time I went out of the booth to eat or something, someone had erased the pitcher's name, and then there was like Warren Spahn written there. And the old heavy-set fellow that's no longer with us, who used to drive me crazy with that, would sit over there and giggle like you're giggling. So proud of himself.
Somehow I can see that happen. Ball and a strike to Blanco. Gregor laid down a bunt last night. That was a big play in the 7th inning as the Braves had that 5-run rally. I asked him today, I said, when did you know you were going to do that? He said, as soon as they went to the pen, the left-hander came on. I decided I was going to do it right then. Nobody knew anything. There was no play on. He laid it down, knocked a run in, his first RBI of the season.
And get this, he had been working on it earlier in the day. He had put in a lot of effort on his bunting before the game, even before batting practice, so it paid off for him.
The count is full to the Braves' number 8 hitter. Craig Stammen has set him down 7 straight here to start this game.
And again, a reminder that, 2008, Gregor was in 144 games with the Braves and hit .251.
Count stays 3-2.
14 doubles, 4 triples, a homer. Stole 13 bases. It's not like he's a newcomer to all this.
Right back up the middle. First hit of the game for the Braves.
Good at bat. Got a pitch count in his favor. Stammen had to elevate a pitch a little bit, and he didn't miss it. That'll give Lowe a chance to bunt him over.
One on, one out. Lowe squares and takes. Bottom half of the third inning here at Turner Field. Braves and Nats on Peachtree TV. Atlanta's first base runner is Gregor Blanco at first. Derek Lowe has already squared again, lays it down. Great bunt. Will it stay fair? Yes. Well, I tell you what, Adam Dunn's throw had Christian Guzman airborne, and he did get the toe back down, I guess.
That was close. It didn't appear that Derek was running inside the line. He was in foul territory after he ran by the baseball. But Dunn was trying to throw over the 6'6" Derek Lowe and almost threw it away. Picked it up right on the chalk. Well, that was close, but called correctly.
I guess Dunn didn't want to gamble with that ball possibly staying fair, so he made the play. But sacrifice accomplished, so we got a runner at second, 2 down in the bottom of the third. And the top of the order for the Braves, Martin Prado. Martin grounded to short his first time. Has knocked in 32 runs, looking for number 33 here with 2 out in the third. Line to center. Nyjer Morgan, it got by him. Prado's at second. He'll be standing at third with a triple.
He was hitting .290 with men in scoring position and 2 out before this at bat. Lined it hard, and somehow the ball with some spin on it hit in the grass and bounced behind Nyjer Morgan. So while that won't go as an error, another defensive mistake by the Nationals, and it really hurts as it allows Prado to get all the way around to third. Clutch 2 out hitting.
Here's Melky Cabrera. That was a strange hop past Morgan at center. Run would have scored anyway, obviously, but another run would not have been 90 feet away as it is right now with Cabrera batting.
Well, you sometimes see balls bounce in the dirt like a curveball or a slider from a pitcher. And while they're breaking one way, they'll bounce back the other because of all that spin. And that'll happen in the outfield a lot, too. When the ball's got a lot of spin on it, it'll bite in the grass and kick back the other way.
Tapped in front of the plate. Cabrera is thrown out. 1-3 on your scorecard, but the Braves do score here in the third. This has been the Airtran Airways home run inning of the game. Be sure to register.
Here's tonight's Toyota trivia question. Remember to visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, moving forward. Who made his Major League Baseball debut on this date in 1905? Phil Necro, I'm going to guess.
Totally uncalled for.
I bet he's chuckling out at Lake Lanier.
See Phil from time to time.
I hope he's chuckling.
If he's not fishing, he's chuckling.
Yes.
Adam Dunn leads it off. Ball and a strike. Tapped up toward first. Prado has lost one down. I want to take a second to just send on our condolences. And Todd Green, you know, Todd, he played 11 years in the big leagues, played for 5 teams, played for the Angels, the Rockies, the Rangers, for the Giants, went to the World Series with the Yankees in 2001, born in Augusta, Georgia, and such a good friend, and lost his dad this week, his dad Charles, after a long illness, and I know they had the services today in Martinez, Georgia, over by Augusta. And if you're watching tonight, buddy, hang in there. Got a lot of friends in your corner. A lot of guys praying for you and pulling for you. And it's going to be all right. So hang with them, Greeny. Here. Very tough week for him, and just such a good friend. Here's Josh Willingham. Bats with 1 down in the 4th, and the Braves leading 1-0 behind Derek Lowe. Looking for win number 10. His most wins before the All-Star break. He had 12 with the Red Sox in 2002, had 10 with the Red Sox in 2003. Looking for number 10 tonight. And he'll have a couple more starts before the All-Star break.
Innings after the Braves score are the most difficult for Derek. Those shutdown innings we talk about. Get your offense back up there, get them swinging again. But his ERA in those innings after Atlanta scores is 5.56, and that's the highest among any of the guys in the rotation. So it could be just a comfort factor where he gets some runs to work with and he loosens up a little bit.
Fly ball to right. Cabrera over. So that's 2 down.
Pretty good breeze blowing straight in right now. So anything hit in the air is going to get knocked down unless somehow you hit it to straightaway left where the stadium may be blocking the wind a little bit.
Here's one of the true class acts in this game, Ivan Rodriguez. 14 times an All-Star. He's 38 years old and is 235 hits away from becoming the first catcher with 3,000 hits.
That's incredible. I mean, just think about it. How long you have to play to get 3,000 hits, let alone be a catcher and play that long.
How long will he play?
Judging by what his numbers are this year and what kind of shape he's in, doesn't take any days off to speak of. Gosh, I don't know. 3, 4, 5 more years? I don't know. Probably up to him. As long as he feels good and can get up and down out of that crouch.
Fly ball, right side, long run, and nobody's going to get there. Martinez saying, hey, that's a pretty nice seat upgrade for y'all over here by the tarp.
almost in their lap.
Pudge has 54 hits this year. And look at that 235 to 3,000.
Wouldn't surprise me to see him get it.
Derek Lowe struck him out. And Pudge wasn't pleased.
No. Sorry about that. Nothing. Time to take a look at the SunTrust Solid Performance, brought to you by SunTrust. Live solid, bank solid. Tonight's statistic, current National League hitting streaks. We showed you Corey Hart's leading the National League in homers. He's also got the longest current hitting streak at 13, but Chipper with 11. Extend that to 12 tonight. Jonathan Herrera with the Rockies. We'll have to look Jonathan up.
Chipper hits the first pitch to left, and Josh Willigham made that play.
Nice play. Sometimes the easy part is gloving it, and the hard part is hanging on to it, especially when you land on your glove. Nicely done by the man affectionately known as Hammer to his teammates.
Speaking of which, how about the folks at Aramark sending up a nice little dinner for us tonight? The Hammer sandwich.
I'd never had one, and it was outstanding.
Chicken surrounded by waffle.
Very good.
It was a
sweet potato fries.
Yeah, it was. That was very good. Thank you very much for thinking of us. And the crew thanks you too.
Yeah, it's amazing how the producer types show up. I mean, there's like even just a little mound of like shredded, I think, carrots sitting there as garnish. Glenn ate that too.
Glenn will admit, he said, if it's free, I'll take 3. One down here in the fourth. Braves lead at 1-0. Ryan McCann popped to second his first time. That ball's hit right on the screws and right at Niger Morgan. 2 down.
Time for the answer to our Toyota trivia question. Who made his Major League debut on this date, 1905? We're going to give you a hint. Field of Dreams. No, not Shoeless Joe. It's Moonlight Graham. The New York Giants. It's the only game he played in. I mean, that was true to life.
Archibald Wright Graham.
I wonder if anybody got that right.
Who was it who played him in that movie? Was
Burt
it
Lancaster.
Burt Lancaster?
Yeah, I mean, it's the older
Yeah.
doctor, Moonlight Graham. I don't know the young man's name that played him as the younger version.
Troy Gloss with a swing and a miss. And now that you brought up the movie, I'm going to have to get something. I'm going to have to get something not off my chest, but I'm going to have to say something about that movie, Field of Dreams, which is one of my favorites.
Mine too.
So
be careful.
Which I hope, doesn't offend anybody, because I really do like it. I don't know if I'm going to have time in this half inning. But the climactic scene of that movie, which always chokes me up,
yeah, me too,
would be much more effective if the dad could throw.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have worked with him a little bit.
Don't you agree?
Yes.
Do you agree that it just takes away from that final scene when Kevin Costner's got this nice fluid motion, and then I feel a lot better now that I've said that on the air.
It's all right.
But, again, still one of my favorites. But please, in casting, guy's got to be able to throw it from here to the mound. Please.
Just show him how to turn his shoulder in a little bit. Yeah.
Meanwhile, back at the ball yard, it's 2-2 with 2 out. And Troy Gloss goes down swinging. We are through 4. And there's the hammer. Available at the 755
and that's the
Club.
only piece of carrot left.
Jameson Inn, ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn's Live Large, Pay Less.
7, 8, 9 hitters in the 5th for Washington. They trail 1-0. Christian Guzman. Line to short his first time. A ball that Escobar caught right off his shoe tops.
When Derek made that slight overhaul on his attack, where he got away from throwing quite so many sliders and went more to sinkers, his effectiveness really began to show. He's still using the slider, of course, but he's got his old sinker back, and man, is it tough. He's keeping it down, getting a lot of ground balls, as you've seen tonight.
3 balls and a strike. Guzman, a 2-time All-Star. Made it in the American League as a Minnesota Twin. Made it in 2008 with Washington, and he draws a leadoff walk here in the 5th. First one of those by Derek Lowe tonight. Here's Alberto Gonzalez, who singled his first time. Struck out 3 times last night. Up the middle and through. He's 2 out of 2. Guzman will try for third. The throw by Blanco. It hit him, but did not get far enough away for Guzman to advance. So it sounded like Pat Listash may have wanted him to try.
Well, that was one that he left up. He broke his bat, but it was upstairs, so he fought it off. And I think Guzman may have taken Gregor Blanco a little by surprise. I don't think Gregor charged this ball like he typically does, and then took a couple of crow hops before he let it go. So it was slow getting to third base.
So second and third, nobody out. And the pitcher, Craig Stammen. See if Jim Riggleman has anything up his sleeve here. Oh, 0-2.
They are going to charge Gregor with an error because the throw hit the runner at third base, got away from Chipper, and allowed Gonzalez to advance to second base.
They're out there with nobody out. And Stammen strikes out for the first one. Third strikeout for Derek Lowe here in the 5th. And now the top of the order. Nyjer Morgan is singled and grounded to Lowe. Tying run 90 feet away. The Nats with 2 in scoring position here. It's Guzman at third and Gonzalez at second.
Last year, Derek Lowe worked 194 and 2/3 innings. He gave up a National League high 232 hits, so well above and beyond a hit per inning. This year, he's actually got it below a hit per inning.
Swung on, base hit into left. That'll tie the game, and they will hold Gonzalez at third. And they're going to throw back to first, and Morgan just got back.
Nyjer Morgan rounded first real wide and slipped as he was trying to go back. Good piece of hitting on another pitch that was up, though, from Derek. Had just been bragging on how he'd been keeping the ball down, but back-to-back hits on pitches that were up. And then it's a good thing Morgan had quick reactions to get back. That slip almost cost him.
So the game is tied. Runners on the corners with 1 out for Roger Bernardina. Slide out twice. Morgan has 16 steals. Leads away from first. Gonzalez off at third.
First run Derek has allowed in his last 11-plus innings. Bernardina, tough to double up, too, but That's what you need right here is another ground ball.
Brian McCann has taken some shots the last 2 nights.
That got shin guard, but I'm not sure how much that helped.
A 1-2 on the way.
Tried to get him to chop it, a change up, and he wouldn't.
The Nats have tied things up here in the 5th, threatening to take the lead. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Ryan Zimmerman on deck. Bernardina's knocked in 23 runs, hitting .291 coming in. And that's driven along the line in right and just foul.
Just foul. That would have scored 2 with the way Morgan can run away from first base. Just about a foot foul. That was not a bad pitch inside that he turned on, too. Try another changeup.
Stay back and get it. Come on.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Roger Bernardina. Derek Lowe tries to work out of trouble here in the 5th.
Stop. In an effort to try to get this guy to hit the ball on the ground. He's only hit into 2 double plays, but Brian McCann's calling a lot of pitches down low and a couple in the dirt in this at bat that he's had to block.
The 3-2, runner going. And they called him out. Roger Bernardina called out on strikes. Jim Riggleman wants an explanation.
Well, he stopped his swing. I just don't know how far he stopped it out in front of the plate before he kind of flipped the bat away. I don't know. Like he went even from that angle, and now we'll be able to tell for sure. Yep.
So he's a strikeout victim. Meantime, Nigel Morgan swiped second on the pitch. So it's 2nd and 3rd with 2 out now for Ryan Zimmerman. He's grounded to short twice. And he's trying to give the Nats the lead here in the top half of the 5th.
He's tried to pull everything so far in this series. He grounded out 3 times last night. Twice to the left side, once into a double play. Also bounced back to the pitcher. Today he's already grounded out to the shortstop twice. And they've been off the end of the bat, trying to pull outside pitches.
2-1. Zimmerman trying to add to that RBI total of 37, but he has struggled as of late.
He's got plenty of room on the right side if he decides to go that way.
And he does, and that's a long run for Melky Cabrera, and that's a ground rule double. And that's a 3-1 Washington lead.
Was this another pitch that was up? No, not really. It was a sinker that came back to the outside corner, but at least this time, on this occasion, Zimmerman decided to go with the pitch and not try to pull it, and it paid off for him.
And there's the value of that stolen base by Niger Morgan on the strikeout. Because if he's at first, he'd be at third now on the ground rule double. As it is, 2-run score, and Derek Lowe finds himself down now 3-1. .39 RBIs now for Zimmerman. Adam Dunn has 47 to lead the team, and he bats now with a runner at second.
Well, do some damage control here. Get done. Make another good pitch to him. You've gotten him tonight with a couple of change-ups. Don't let the inning continue where it turns into a real ugly one.
Fouled off right there at the plate, Joe.
Good pitch. Good change-up. And Adam Dunn, believe it or not, with 2 out men in scoring position, just 2 for 33 on the year.
His 41 extra base hits, the most in the National League. He's 0 for 2 tonight, couple of ground outs.
When you have this shift on like the Braves play it for Adam Dunn, and because there's a runner at second, Chipper has to stay over there at third base just in case Zimmerman takes off, but he's way off the line. And honestly, I mean, Zimmerman has good speed and he can get a big enough lead. You can take off at third base and it's a foot race to the bag with Chipper, and it's a moving target that Brian McCann's got to hit to Chipper going to cover third base.
He hung in there.
That's expensive, Brian. Where'd this one get him? Inside of the shin guard.
And the beating will continue until morale improves. He's really taking some shots. A ball and 2 strikes. And he struck him out. Dunn tosses the bat away in frustration. But the Nats score 3 in the 5th and lead it by 2.
Fans, to get your tickets today for the Braves' 4th of July weekend, this Friday through Sunday. Fans have 2 chances to see the #1 fireworks show in the Southeast on Friday night and Sunday night. Plus, it's Braves Foundation weekend, and you can buy a great signed memorabilia item for a good cause. For game tickets, visit braves.com/tickets.
Bottom half of the 5th. Braves got to do some work with the sticks now, down 3-1.
Lipinski off the glove of Dunn, who recovers and makes the play.
A little off to the side, but a good recovery and a good toss to get the out. Marlins beating up on the Mets down in Puerto Rico again. Brian Schneider and Wilson Valdez each with 3-run homers for the Phillies in Cincinnati.
Come on, let's go.
But as we know, those games in Cincinnati, anything can happen in that bandbox. Scoreless in a couple of games, including that one Pirates and Cubs. Pirates won a close one last night from Chicago.
Snapped a long road losing streak. 17 in a row away from home.
Boy.
3-0 to Escobar. And word that Edwin Rodriguez apparently will be the manager for the rest of the year for the Florida Marlins. And of course, they're playing that game in Puerto Rico tonight, 5 minutes from his home.
Yeah, apparently the negotiations that we thought were pretty much a done deal with Bobby Valentine were not a done deal.
Yeah, all the reports last week were that it's imminent. He might even be starting Monday in Puerto Rico, etc. Did not happen. So when the Marlins come in here this weekend, we will be seeing Edwin Rodriguez, the first manager in the big leagues from Puerto Rico. They beat R.A. Dickey last night, handed him his first loss, the knuckleballer for the Mets.
Well, that was pretty much a given because you can't throw a good knuckleball in Puerto Rico. I don't know if you knew that or not. There's something about that longitude.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was not aware.
Yeah, down the Caribbean, the ball just won't knuckle. It pretty much stays straight.
I learn from you every night. Things that will always come in useful.
You think about it. Phil Niekro never pitched in Puerto Rico.
He's closed.
Good reason for that.
Wilbur Wood never pitched in Puerto Rico.
No.
Gregor Blanco never pitched in Puerto Rico.
Steve McCaddy may have.
And he's on his way to the mound to talk to Craig Stammen, who's working in the 5th inning here.
It's maybe a little bit of a chewing out after being given the lead to come out and with 1 out walk Escobar and fall 2-0 behind 2-0 to the 8th place hitter. Just a reminder that you have the lead now.
Again, to go back to the old shutdown innings.
Stammen was 2-0 in his 2 starts at Syracuse with a 2.25 ERA. Did good work down there to get the recall.
Gregor takes a strike. The scolding did some good. He's 1 out of 1, has scored the only Atlanta run.
Talked earlier about Derek Lowe's ERA of right around 5.5 after his team scores. This guy's even higher. Stammen's ERA after his team scores the next inning is 8.85. Let's see if the Braves can take advantage.
A slight delay and then a strike call from Todd Tishner. It's 2-2. You see Gregor an inch or two up on that bat. Back in Double-A ball, he said he used to bat right down there, hands right at the bottom on the knob.
it had a little more pop, but he said he was willing to sacrifice that for better bat control. And that's the way he's gone, up on that bat an inch or two. Down the third base line, that's a fair ball. Zimmerman has no play.
Well, there was some bat control. And after the ball got over the bag, I don't think it hit the base. Zimmerman just couldn't corral it. Right down the chalk line. The ball did come up a little bit, so maybe it did hit the front of the base, and it'll be a base hit. Gregor's 2 for 2. Lowe put down a good bunt. His first time up that set up an RBI triple by Prado. This time, if he puts it down, he wants to bunt it hard to third and make Zimmerman field it to move the runners up.
He takes outside 1-0. They're trying to help himself out here. Move the runners up in a 3-1 game. Pointed to the mound. They're going to go to third. And just did get Escobar.
Derek was trying to get this to third and couldn't pull it enough. I mean, if he just pulls it where Stammen's got to take one more step toward the line to get the ball, it works. But he bunted it right back at him. And a good play by the Nats pitcher. Go up to Martin again.
That's the value of communication on a play like that, too. There was no hesitation. Everybody in the infield knew exactly where that ball was going. Because if you hesitate or you take a look at a bag, then you have no shot.
Come on, Brad.
Pudge, the quarterback, immediately shouting 3, and they got the force. Martin, a tricky hop triple in the third. Ball bounced by Niger Morgan. He scored the only Atlanta run.
Tried to get him to offer it a couple of sliders and now falls behind in the count. Martin's good work this year has not been because he just swings at any and everything. When he does get counts in his favor like this, he's pretty selective about getting a good pitch to hit.
He got some pretty fresh pine tar on that bat, which is also on his right shoulder, because as you see him stand at the plate, he'll bring that bat back.
More work for Ben and Chris.
They're loaded for Melky Cabrera.
Highlighted Melky today in our opening comments about how he started the season 2 for 20 with men in scoring position and how he's really improved on that, up over 320. See if he can get a knock here.
Grounded towards second. Guzman will throw him out. The Braves load the bases but do not score. We're going to the 6th, and it's 3-1 Nats.
Family Guy, Wednesday at 7 on Peachtree TV.
5 innings in the books. Nationals up 3-1. Let's take a look at the Braves' upcoming schedule, brought to you by AirTran Airways. Go. There's nothing stopping you. Tomorrow, the wrap-up of this series with Washington. It'll be on Sports South. First pitch at 7:10. Chip Carey and I will have that one for you. Then the Marlins come to town after a day off on Thursday. And back with you on Peachtree TV. Ernie and I will have that one for you beginning at 7:30 on Friday over the 4th of July weekend. The National Fox Network will have the Saturday broadcast, Sunday, Fox Sports South. And check that starting time, 5:05 first pitch on Sunday on July 4th. And the Braves are not catching any breaks against the Florida Marlins, Ernie. They're going to have to face Josh Johnson, Anibal Sanchez, and Ricky Nolasco, the 3 best pitchers for the Marlins when they come to town.
And then it's on to Philadelphia. And will we see Doc Halladay up there?
Quite possibly, yeah. You and John Smoltz will have those games, I know, at Philadelphia.
John back in the booth for those 3 in Philly. Probably just bursting at the seams with jokes he has not had an outlet for over the past few weeks. Possibly a joke and inning coming our way in that 3-game set.
I feel your pain.
Derek Lowe goes to work in the 6th. He struck out the side in the 5th, but there was a bunch of junk in between, boy. Walk, base hit, E8, stolen base, hit, ground rule double. Add it all up, 3 runs and a 3-1 Washington lead. You see the line on tonight's starting pitchers, Craig Stammen and Derek Lowe. Lowe looking for win number 10. Braves are going to have to come from behind to help him get it.
Derek was very slow coming off the mound after the 3-run 5th. Kind of walked to the far end of the dugout. Took his time, then had to hit and run the bases after his bunt attempt wasn't successful. So 94 pitches and some heat and humidity. He may be running a little low on Petro.
He got the breaking ball over to Willigham to run the count to 2-2. Here in the 6th. Right-hander with a 2-2. Slapped into left center for a base hit. The leadoff hitter on for the 3rd time tonight in 6 innings.
And that bell is ringing in the other bullpen.
Outstanding audio enhancement. 5.1 Dolby Digital Surround.
It's funny working with Smoltz on this network and Glavin on Fox. They both said, you know, I can be all the way up here and I can still hear that phone ringing behind me. Like it's tuned into it. That's Eric O'Flaherty loosening up.
Runner going, grounded to Escobar, who makes the play. Boy, that was a tough play with a runner going. No chance for Lowe to flag that down. And Escobar did make the play barehanded.
There was no doubt what he was going to do. He had that right hand out, ready to scoop it up all the way. Nicely done.
So a runner at second, 1 down for Christian Guzman.
Put him on and work to Gonzalez. Which I don't blame him. I mean, Guzman's a professional hitter. I know he's been struggling in recent days, and I know that Gonzalez is 2 for 2 tonight, but I'll take my chances with Alberto, who has not been playing as much. Guzman hitting .327 with men in scoring position, too.
Nothing lollipop about this intentional walk. Derek Lowe popping that mitt.
Biggest out of the game last night, I thought, for Tim Hudson came against Gonzalez when Tim was in trouble, had a runner at third in a scoreless game, runner at third and 1 out, and he was able to get Gonzalez to chase some sliders and strike him out. Gonzalez only hitting .154 with runners in scoring position.
But tonight, 2 out of 2. For the Braves pitching coach, Roger McDowell, has had his say. Runners at first and second, the Nats' number 8 hitter comes to the plate.
And looking at his numbers, Gonzalez has 4 extra base hits. They're all doubles. And again, doesn't play that much. He's only had 61 at bats, 63 now. But I think if I were Eric Kinski, I might move in just a little bit. Take the chance of him hitting one over my head. Just in an effort that if he does get another pitch to pull and gets a base hit to left, that Eric has a better chance of throwing out Willigham.
Ball and a strike.
And it was sliders like that from Hudson that got him to chase last night.
Pitch count at 103 here in the 6th. Into left field. Kinski will charge, but there will be no play at the plate. Didn't you just say?
Sinker that didn't die down and in like he wanted it to, and Gonzalez is wearing out that hole. Willigham scores easily.
Funny game. One night the guy can't put it in play. Next night you can't get him out. Here's the pitcher, Stammen. He lays down the bunt right in front of the plate. McCann will go to third and get him. Boy, that was close at third.
Very close, and Brian couldn't get the ball out of his glove. You know what? It looked like Guzman did the proverbial 93-foot slide. His front foot went up over the top of the base. If he hits the bag with his front foot, he's probably safe. That little backspin coming back to Brian. His front foot kind of was up in the air and caught the base with his back foot.
2 down, and this call to the bullpen is brought to you by AT Rethink Possible.
initiative that he's working on with a friend of ours named Matt Arden. We'll get to that before it's all over tonight, but the Braves have made a pitching change here in a 4-1 game, and Eric O'Flaherty trying to keep it right there.
21 inherited runners for Eric on the year. 6 have scored. He's not allowed a run of his own in his last 5 outings.
Throws a strike to Niger Morgan, 0-1.
But has walked 4 in his last 4 outings, and that's something he needs to cut down on.
There's part of that Detroit rally the other day, a game that ended in a bizarre way with the called third strike from Peter Moylan to Johnny Damon. Gonzalez at second. Stammen, the Washington pitcher, is at first. 1 run is in. The Nats trying to snap a 5-game losing streak, lead it 4-1.
Good fastball from Eric there. About his high at 94. And the result was a late swing from Niger Morgan. Ahead in the count, though. Don't have to throw him a strike here.
He has singled twice. Stays alive. 1-2. The Nats went quietly through the first 4 innings of this game. Got 3 in the 5th, 1 here in the 6th. One thing they have not been able to do lately is hold leads. Coming off a series in Baltimore in which they led every game. The first one 6-0, the second one 5-0, the third one 3-0, and lost them all.
That pitch was designed to be outside, a breaking ball away to get him to chase, but it missed on the inside part of the plate. And Eric was fortunate he didn't put it in play. There's another one that was to the wrong side of the plate. And that's where he was missing the other day against Detroit, if you remember, Ernie. He was missing badly into the left-handed batter's box against right-handers.
Roger McDowell keeping a sharp eye on O'Flaherty, who throws a 2-2. Grounded slowly to third. Chipper throws out the speedy Niger Morgan to end the inning. But the Nats pad their lead. It's 4-1 going to the bottom of the 6th. Back here at Turner Field, we head to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Greg Stammen still on the mound for the Nats. And he leads 4-1, 4-8-0 for the Nationals, 1-3-1 for the Braves. And he will face the 3-4-5 hitters, Chipper, Brian McCann, and Troy Gloss. Braves loaded the bases in the 5th, but could not take advantage. By the way, Joe, the Saw won the Home Depot tool race tonight. Here's Chipper.
Be with you in a minute, Ernie.
Stammen has looked good. First action in the big since June 6th. To second. Guzman to Dunn, 1 down.
He's done a good job of making good pitches when he needed to, getting out of that bases loaded 2-out jam last inning. And the numbers 2 through 6 hitters are 0 for 12 tonight.
Chipper's 11-game hitting streak in a bit of jeopardy here. He's 0 for 3. McCann 0 for 2.
You hear us talk, and you hear Bobby Cox talk all the time about how every game is important. You play them one at a time. You don't look too far ahead. Tonight's game is the most important. And this is a real good example of how he tries to maintain such consistency with his ball club. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Last night, as the player said, was a playoff-type atmosphere. Everybody was really jacked up to hit against Steven Strasburg. Everybody's ready to play, ready to go. Great game to watch. Really good at bats.
Great buzz in the ballpark. Fly ball to right center. Niger Morgan calls and makes the play. 2 down.
So tonight, you can call it whatever you want. There might be a little Steven Strasburg hangover, you know, just a little bit of a letdown. There's not as big a crowd. A guy just got called back up from AAA that's pitching. There's no real romance to his start or anything, and yet he's throwing a 3-hitter at you. And tonight's game's just as important as last night's and counts just as much. And the Braves are 10-11 against their division opponents. That's reason enough to be motivated.
Especially when you're starting a stretch here of 12 straight games, this being the second one against teams in your division heading into the All-Star break. You want to go in there with some juice, be going the right way, and not go into the All-Star break saying, oh, we had a lead and now we're down X number of games.
What's real easy to do is, especially when you had a 1-0 lead through 4, is say, oh, yeah, we're going to get some more. We're going to get this guy. Oh, we're going to get this guy. And then all of a sudden it's the 8th inning and you're trying to hustle against somebody fresh out of their bullpen after Stammen's pitched a good game.
Florida's trying to help the Braves out and help themselves out by leading the Mets tonight in Puerto Rico. The Atlanta lead was a 1.5 games when the night began. 6-3 in the bottom of the 6th there. And Cincinnati not going away against Philadelphia. Grounded toward third. Zimmerman to Dunn. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Craig Stammen. We're going to the 7th. 4-1 Nats.
Foot-tall polar bear. Take home a free 8-ounce glass bottle of Coke. Experience a thrilling 4D theater and taste beverages from around the world. Visit the world of Coca-Cola today.
Top of the 7th here in Atlanta, 4-1, Washington with the lead. I mentioned to you what JJ was up to with, along with Matt Arden, who's a producer at Turner, and they've got a group called Shoot Film, Not Guns, trying to encourage filmmaking here in Atlanta for kids who might be interested in that. Had a bunch of them in the booth tonight and wandering around the ballpark on their first class. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful idea. And really sprang from the fact that Matt, who lives not far from the ballpark, there was a shooting not far from there, and he's just said, enough. I mean, we even went to the city of Atlanta and said, here's my idea. Will you help me with this? And it's beginning to take off. Shoot film, not guns.
Great.
Bravo, guys, JJ and Matt. Nice work. Line drive in the gap. Base hit. Blanco cuts it off. And Roger Bernardina is on with a leadoff single here in the 7th.
And he hasn't hit lefties too well during the course of the year, but put a good swing on that one.
Ryan Zimmerman has knocked in a couple of runs tonight. A ground rule double in the 5th. As the Nats put 3 on the board. Derek Lowe started, went 5 2/3. Will not win his 10th tonight. Hopes he won't lose his 6th.
Yeah. I think that 5th inning seemed to take a lot out of Derek. He was working hard and long inning and hot and humid. Then had to run the bases a little bit in the bottom half of the inning.
O'Flaherty ahead 1-2.
This is the guy that got the big hit off of him in the inning too, that ground rule double, after it appeared that he was trying to pull everything tonight. And last night, he went the other way with a sinker. I think it was a sinker down and away, and pretty good pitch, too. And hit it hard to right field, right down the line.
O'Flaherty with an easy toss over to first. Bernardina has stolen 6 bases.
Tigers were talking about Brandon Inge, their third baseman, when they came to town, about how his average had shot up because he had started going to right field more. He'd been trying to be a little too pull happy. His average had suffered. But the last 3 weeks of June, he's been real hot because he's hit the ball to all parts of the park.
Runner going. McCann's throw. And that's a stolen base, number 7 for Bernardina.
Went on O'Flaherty's first move. So he got a pretty good jump. As soon as that foot came up, Bernardina took off.
He's out there now for Zimmerman with nobody out in the 7th. That's trying to add to a 4-1 lead. And he struck him out. 1 down.
Like a cutter in on his hands. Good pitch. Tied him up a little bit.
6th strikeout for Atlanta pitching. First by O'Flaherty. Now here's Dunn.
Keep an eye on Bernardina. Give him a look, give him 2 looks.
Dunn is 3 out of 6 with a home run against O'Flaherty. But he's behind 0-2.
Tied him up with a good fastball. Adam Dunn behind only Albert Pujols in home runs since 2004. And just 7 behind him.
He's 0 for 3 tonight with a strikeout. Waits on an 0-2. And he goes down swinging again.
That was a really good pitch sequence from O'Flaherty to put him away.
Willigham is waiting on deck. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by AT Rethink possible. The right-hander Peter Moylan will come on to face Willigham with 1 on and 2. Moylan.
Moylan's last work came against the Tigers 3 days ago. Worked a third of an inning, and that was a strikeout. The one thing to be aware of here is that right-handed hitters, especially when they come up against Peter, when he's brought in to pitch to him, they like to be aggressive with him and try to pick on the first or second pitch so that they don't have to fall behind in the count and deal with that sidearm slider that might cause them to go fishing for it. As a result, opponents on the first or second pitch to him this year are 12 for 25. They're hitting .480 against him on the first or second pitch.
We'll face a guy who's 3 out of 9 against him lifetime in Josh Willigham, with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. Willigham 1 out of 3. He scored a run. There's Willigham, who started the Nats rally in the 6th as they scored 1. The 0-1. Moylan quickly way ahead.
Good fastball, too. A couple of them. And that hurts because a lot of times Peter's brought in with inherited runners in scoring position.
bite. 1-2.
Good try, though. It's a good spot to go to see if he will chase it.
Willigham tired of the waiting game and now steps back in. Waits on a 1-2. The count even with a runner at second. Braves trail 4-1, top half of the seventh. Peter Moylan, the third Atlanta pitcher of the night, following Derek Lowe and Eric O'Flaherty. Well, from 0-2, the count now full at 3-2.
Slider, sinker, sinker. Has a good fastball tonight. Let's see if he stays with that or tries another slider with first base open.
That ball is driven to the gap, way back in left center and gone. Home run number 14, RBIs 43 and 44, and it is now a 6-1 lead.
Well, we talked about him earlier tonight, Ernie, about his on-base percentage, his walks. He has a good eye. He rarely chases bad pitches. Didn't offer it the 3 pitches after he fell behind 0-2, and then Peter just missed his spot there. He missed his location. Supposed to be away. That came back to Willigham. Down and out over the inside third.
Ball 1 to Pudge.
Those hurt because you've got room for the guy. If you miss and walk him, you've got room for him at first.
And Willigham made him pay into the seats in left center. Well, 2 balls and 1 strike. Braves with some real work to do tonight now. 6-1. Against a team with a recent history of not being able to hold leads. This one comes in the 7th inning.
Remember, Peter had that stretch going where he had not allowed a home run in forever. He gave up a home run to this club, to Ryan Zimmerman, opening day in their ballpark 2 years ago, and had not allowed another home run until that inside the Parker in Arizona where McLeod and Hayward ran together. So this one was the first one over the fence since that day in March in 08 when Zimmerman hit it. And first by a right-handed hitter since then.
Well, he's run the count full now to Rodriguez. And we saw what Willigham did with the 3-2 pitch. To third. That comes a batter late. 2 more runs for the Nats on the long ball by Josh Willigham. It's 6-1 going to the bottom of the 7th.
Come on, Pud! And the question is,
Ernie, how does Joe compare in the booth to Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith?
Other than being better dressed.
Absolutely no comparison. And aside from the fact that you show up about 3 hours or 4 hours before the first pitch, rather than 20 seconds before we go on the air. But always a pleasure to work with both Kenny and Chuck, and to work with a pro like you. This has been really a kick.
Well, it takes a while for that makeup chair, to get out of the chair, so I have to come early.
Thanks, pal. We're going to the bottom half of the 7th. Plus, you never make mention of how the size of my forehead. Or at least you haven't yet.
I don't have room to talk there. We're out a bar of soap on mine today.
Eric Hinsky. Well, that's a hot shot. Adam Dunn. Ole. 1 down.
Yeah, he's done all right over there tonight. He's had a couple of hot shots hit to him, and he's handled both of them. This was a rocket.
Kind of enjoyed that.
Nice glove work, saved a double.
Eric Hinsky was running hard, too, and Dunn realized he better step on it to beat him to the bag. 1 down. Anyway, Stammen's been impressive. Here he is in the 7th inning, 75 pitches now.
Well, the scouting report I got on him was that, he has trouble in the early innings getting going. That high average over 400 against him in the first inning. And that his strikes, while he doesn't walk many guys, he throws too many to the middle part of the plate. So he's been able to avoid that tonight. And when they have hit the ball hard, Braves have hit him right at somebody.
Any mention in that scouting report of his stamina?
It's excellent.
You can feel free to groan at home. That's fine. Going on all over the booth.
Go, come on.
Mostly pained expressions in the booth.
Just trying to get you ready for Smoltzy next week in Philadelphia.
Let's go.
Escobar waiting on a 1-2. If you are just joining us here on Peachtree TV, Braves scored first in the 3rd. Gregor Blanco with a single and Martin Prado with a run-scoring triple. Nat scored 3 times in the 5th, once in the 6th, twice in the 7th. 2-run homer by Josh Willigham has made it a 6-1 game. And he blew it right by Yunel Escobar for the 2nd out.
Good low hard sinker. Just his 2nd strikeout, but had good movement on it down and away, and Yunel couldn't afford to take a chance.
Third strikeout.
I think I said 2nd.
Come on.
And here is Blanco, who's 2 out of 2. Yeah, you did say so.
I did, because I have a blank right there on Troy Gloss. I have to write something in. Speaking of John Smoltz.
Rounded to 2nd. Another easy inning for Stammen. Braves down 6-1, and we're going to the 8th.
Dodge Ram. Visit ramtrucks.com or your local Ram dealer today. The finale of this 3-game series with the Nationals tomorrow afternoon. J.D. Martin, whose ERA looks a lot better than his overall record, but check it out. Walks to strikeouts just 2-20 or 20-2, depending on how you look at it, against Jair Jurgens. Good news for the Braves that Jurgens is coming back from the disabled list, where he went on the list on April 30th. He's missed 55. Tonight makes 56 games that he's missed. And if you want to divide that by 5, that means about 11 starts that he's missed since he went on the DL with the left hamstring strain that later turned into a pull. So we get to see JJ tomorrow.
Rehab work at Gwinnett up the road and ready to go tomorrow night. Jesse Chavez, 4th Atlanta pitcher.
He's turned in a couple of good outings since he came back from his brief drive up I-85. 2 long relief outings. Worked 7 innings total in those 2 outings. 5 hits, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
Christian Guzman takes high and away. 2 balls and a strike. He's lined out, walked in the 5th, was intentionally passed in the 6th, and has scored a run. Past 3rd and foul. Ooh, and he hit him to lead off the 8th.
Back to the thigh. He's had some knee issues, so he's glad it wasn't in the knee. Still didn't feel very good.
Here's Gonzalez, the number 8 hitter, who's 3 out of 3 after an 0 for 3 last night with 3 strikeouts. He's knocked in a run tonight. Just his 3rd RBI of the season.
They've had their leadoff man on in each of the last 4 innings and 5 overall tonight. And they have scored the last 3 innings when they've done that.
Chavez to the plate, to first and foul.
Stephen Strasburg, a guy who can't buy a run from his offense. Got beat 2 starts ago, 1-0. Got beat 5-0 last night. And a wealth of runs today for Washington.
Fly ball to right. Cabrera over, and that ball is foul. You know, Charlie Manuel will be selecting all-stars, those that the fans and the players do not select to fill out the roster. And he was asked about the prospects of putting Stephen Strasburg on the pitching staff for the NL. And he said, you know, I've heard a lot of people on TV say it would be a shame if he's not on it. And Charlie's response is, I say there's a lot of shame every day somewhere in the world. At the same time said he would, I'll look at him and I'll watch him and I'll see, but there's a lot of shame every day somewhere in the world.
That's great.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Gonzalez. See if we can get this guy out.
Fouling off some 96-mile-an-hour heat from Jesse.
He was 1 for his last 17 coming into this game. He's 4 out of 4. Takes a wide turn and then retreats to first. They're at the corners with nobody out.
What a night. And Stammen's going to hit for himself. It's only in the 80s, I think, in pitch count. Three pitches. Thanks, Hal. The 4 hits for Gonzalez are anytime his career high, which he set last July at Houston. 4 hits.
Braves infield drawn in all around as they trail 6-1.
Jim Riggleman was asked about the move last night where he had Adam Kennedy out to fake like he was going to pinch hit when Gonzalez struck out against Hudson, and then let Strasburg hit for himself, which ended that attempt or that rally with two outs. He let the pitcher hit. And Riggleman's answer to that was, well, I could have sent up a pinch hitter hoping for a 2-out hit, which is awfully hard to do, and lose my pitcher. Or send up the pitcher and keep Strasburg in the game, which was scoreless at the time, and he elected to make sure Strasburg stayed in there.
Right. Fly ball to center. Chases Gregor Blanco back, and it will score a run, and it's 7-1. 5th RBI of the season for Craig Stammen.
What a night for him.
Lots of 5s going on in that dugout. Here's Niger Morgan. Now with a runner at first and 2 down. Guy who was sent down to make room for Steven Strasburg having himself an evening.
And you know there were some thoughts in that dugout that, okay, we've lost 4 in a row. We got Strasburg going tonight. We'll snap out of this tonight. And they didn't. They lost 5 in a row. And some thoughts of, and we got Stammen tonight, who's 1-2 with a 5.5 ERA. Oh, boy. Against Derek Lowe. Uh-oh. Not looking so good. How's it looking now?
Well, 1-2. He struck him out. 2 down here in the 8th.
You said earlier tonight, Ernie, about what a crazy game this is. Gonzalez goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Tonight he's 4 for 4. And it's like our pal Skip used to say, people who bet on sports, but especially baseball games, are crazy.
See the Mets still trailing against the Marlins in Puerto Rico. Can you throw that back up there for 1 second, guys? Sorry. And St. Louis on top of Arizona 2-0. Cardinals pulled one out late last night against the D-backs. Played some terrible defense late. Cliff Lee on the mound for Seattle tonight. And Boston shutting out Tampa Bay. Rays have fallen on some hard times.
And Boston's been playing okay even without Pedroia. Only 2 back of the Yankees. They've won 7 out of 10. Keep your eye on Baltimore. They've won 4 in a row.
I'll do that. Wake me when that streak reaches 32. Let me know.
Okay. Blue Jays with a winning record, but they're 8 back in that division. That's no surprise.
Bernardino waiting on a 3-1. What do you think? As we saw Tampa Bay, they've fallen 3 back now in the East and have led that division for most of the year. Evan Longoria got in B.J. Upton's face the other day in the dugout after a perceived lack of effort on a double that turned into a triple.
I have an opinion about that, but it kind of goes to what preceded that action. And by that I mean we don't know if that's something Upton had been doing for the last couple of weeks, if he had done it 10 times, where he kind of loafed after this ball in the gap, just kind of jogged after it. And if so, then, and nobody ever said anything about it, then, you know, somebody needed to say something. Longoria did, and then they had to be separated. But if it was something that hadn't really happened that often, it's not really Longoria's place. That's the manager's place to take care of business.
And both said that they had talked it out. It was a done deal. Joe Madden saying these kind of things happen all the time. You don't see a lot of them happen.
Yeah, but I just know how it would have been handled here and how it was handled when Andrew Jones didn't hustle after a ball in center field so many years ago and got pulled in the middle of an inning. And it got Andrew's attention. Yunel Escobar has been told to take a seat in the middle of a ball game more than once by Bobby Cox in an effort to get his attention about how the game's supposed to be played. It didn't take a player to do that.
3-2 from Chavez. Ball 4, first and second.
Come on, Blue.
Not bad. Fastball was backing up, but Brian had to reach down and across a little bit to get it. Tried his best to frame it for Todd Tishner, just didn't get the call.
The key shot in this game, the first of them, was delivered by this guy, Ryan Zimmerman, a ground rule double, and a 3-run fifth. And Washington has not looked back. It's now a 7-1 game.
One last thought on that Tampa Bay thing, and go back just to earlier this year when Hanley Ramirez dogged after that ball down in the left field corner in Florida. It was handled swiftly by the manager of the Marlins, Freddie Gonzalez.
Sharply to short. The force 6-4. But another run across for the Nats. They lead it 7-1.
He went on the disabled list May 15th. 42 games he missed. And there was some thought when he first had to have the surgery on his thumb that he might be out till after the All-Star break. So he's got back a lot faster than some thought, which is good news.
Takes a strike from Craig Stammen, working in the 8th. That was his 84th pitch.
That was 3 for 12 with Gwinnett with the double.
Come on, Dick.
He was 2 for 8 as a pinch hitter before that thumb infection and the surgery.
Matt said that had they not gone ahead and taken care of this, that if it had gotten worse, there was one of the options was amputation. It was that bad. Could have gotten that bad if it hadn't been addressed.
Reaches out and slaps one into shallow right, foul territory. And he'll have another life. Diaz ready again. So is Stammen. And he struck him out to start off the 8th.
Stammen's pitched himself a whale of a ball game. Braves manufactured that run in the 3rd inning. Got a 1-out single, bunted Blanco to second, and then with 2 outs, Prado got the base hit that turned into a triple. But since then, he's been in complete control. Loaded the bases in the 5th with a couple of walks, but got out of that.
Braves have had only 3 hits, and they've come from 2 guys. 1 by Prado, 2 by Blanco.
Last year he made 19 starts for the Nationals, went 4-7. And again, his ERA was over 5. Not pitching like that tonight. Boy, he's hit spots. Some that were borderline strikes that he got calls on, but he has not pitched to the middle of the plate, which the reports were he was doing too much of.
17 of the 22 outs on the ground or strikeouts. So he's had that sinker working, and the Braves have struggled with him.
Out of the University of Dayton.
There's another hit for Martin. And he's going to try to stretch it into 2. Guzman cut off the throw. And Gonzalez was kind of like, hey, where'd that come from?
Yeah, Martin's happy about that too, because it was going to be a close play. Another multi-hit game for Martin. Tonight it's a double and a triple so far. Always runs hard out of the box. And on second look, looked like he was going to beat that throw. .24 doubles. third in the league in that category behind Marlon Byrd and Jason Worth, who each have 25.
And that's 110 hits to lead all of baseball for Martin Prado.
110, and we're not even to the halfway point yet.
They've cooled off Melky a little bit tonight. 0 for 3, 3 groundouts.
Told you about the Mets getting beaten by Florida down in Puerto Rico. Phillies tonight got 3-run homers from Wilson Valdez and Brian Schneider, led by 3 going to the bottom of the ninth. Joey Votto's just hit a 3-run home run off Brad Lidge with 2 out in the ninth to tie it. They go to the 10th.
37 straight games in which Votto has reached safely.
6-6. Gabby Sanchez, if you're curious about the Sanchez, not Anibal, for the Marlins.
There is action in the Washington bullpen. Craig Stammen working in the 8th inning.
Sean Burnett, Drew Storen, lefty and a righty.
Both of whom worked last night in the opener. Stammen working with a 7-1 lead. Prado out there at second with 1 away. That's hard hit. Nigel Morgan on his horse, won't get there. Prado can trot home. Cabrera can do the same into second, and it's 7-2.
RBI number 23 for Melky. He came up with the bases loaded back in the 5th inning, but they were able to get him on a ground ball. This time on a count that was in his favor, he just laced that one over the head of Niger Morgan. That was on the 99th pitch of the night, delivered by Stammen, his last.
Great effort by Stammen. He works into the 8th, and he leaves with a 7-2 lead. Braves with a runner at second, 1 out as they go to the pen.
Helped him and brought it right to this start with him, and showed Jim Riggleman he wanted a spot back in the rotation. But now you leave it to the bullpen to finish things up for him. And remember, this team, the Nationals, was swept in Baltimore 3 straight games after having big leads in those games and blew it to lose all 3.
Again, those leads were 6-0, 5-0, and 3-0. And here now it is 7-2 with a runner at second and Chipper Jones at the plate. Turns around the bat righty for the first time tonight.
Braves have been a very good late inning team. A lot of come from behind wins. A lot of last at bat wins. From the 7th inning on, Braves with the most runs scored of any team in the major leagues. That includes tonight.
Chipper in an 0-2 hole against Sean Burnett.
Burnett throws hard. He's in the low 90s. 92, 93. Throws across his body a little bit. That means he steps a little bit to the first base line. Tries to create a little movement that way, or does create some, with his sinker, trying to run it away from right-handed hitters.
Rip.
Burnett working for the 2nd straight night. Came on in relief of Strasburg last night. Now 2-2 to Chipper. A little buzz going through the stands here at Turner Field.
Well, in case you didn't know before, now you know what Chipper's trying to do. And that's make sure that he stays inside the baseball going the other way. Because Burnett's trying to throw that sinker hard down and away. When Burnett came in with it, Chipper still took an inside out swing at it and fouled it off. Certainly showed his hand to Pudge.
He struck him out for the 2nd out of the 8th. So Burnett wins the battle with Chipper, and now he takes on Brian McCann, lefty-lefty. Unless the Braves do something remarkable here, Chipper's hitting streak will be over at 11. Not much going on in the 3, 4, 5, 6 hole tonight for the Braves. Over 13. Meantime, the 7-8 hitters for Washington have done all kinds of damage. They've been on base 7 times tonight.
Burnett splits against lefties and righties. Not altogether surprising, really, when you think about the way he likes to pitch, throwing across his body. Can't throw that sinker down and in to lefties without fear of making a mistake. Left-handers hitting 341 against him. Right-handers just 183. So he's one lefty that's more effective against right-handed hitters.
Grounded towards second. Guzman playing way back with that shift on. Brian McCann throws him out.
So the Braves do score 1, but they're down 5 as we go to the 9th.
Everybody, don't forget, Beach Street TV has back-to-back episodes of Family Guy weeknights at 7, followed by a full hour of House of Pain weeknights at 8, right here on good old PTV, as we like to call it, the Beach Street TV.
David Ross behind the plate. New battery for the Braves here in the 9th. Christian Martinez on for Bobby Cox.
Martinez had been really blowing some people away until his outing that last game against the Tigers when the Tigers won it 10-4. He went 2 innings, gave up 6 hits and 4 runs. Gave up a home run to Brennan Bosch, that fine-looking rookie the Tigers have.
Good sign that Ross is behind the plate as he's been bothered by sore hand. Jumps ahead of Adam Dunn, 0-1. Dunn's 0 for 4, struck out the last 2 times. It's that familiar pose as he waits.
With the size of that ballpark in Cincinnati, meaning it's small, and the size of Adam Dunn, meaning large, I never really thought that I'd see him in anything other than a Reds uniform.
Had some good years with the Redlegs and great power numbers. Oh, he got the hat trick.
You're going to get some of that with him, that's for certain. You're going to get a lot of homers. You're going to get a lot of RBIs. You're going to get a lot of walks. But he came into tonight's game hitting .276.
Josh Willigham has had a productive evening. Two-run homer in the 7th off of Peter Moylan. Also singled and scored in the 6th. Washington had been shut out for the first 13 innings of this series, and then they've scored 7 in the last 4.
his two-run homer in the 7th, and then the sacrifice fly last inning by the pitcher. Huge runs in this ball game.
We'll wrap up this series tomorrow. Jair Jurgens off the DL, back on the mound. Thursday's off. Marlins come in over the weekend. That's the last time fans in Atlanta will see the Braves until after the All-Star break. They're coming out and see us this weekend when the Marlins come in. Bunch of key games here against teams in the National League East.
Good pitching matchups, too, against the Marlins all 3 nights. This team, the Nationals, has given the Braves fits, and I mean, if you put Montreal Expo uniforms on them, you might understand better, because they were a team that always gave the Braves fits. But the last 3 years, the Nationals are 22-18 against Atlanta.
Struck Willigham out. Back-to-back Ks for Martinez. And that despite the fact the Nats are coming off back-to-back 59-win seasons.
Yeah.
Ivan Rodriguez, Pudge, 1 out of 4. Fly ball to right. Melky in his tracks makes the play. 1-2-3 inning for Christian Martinez. We're going to the bottom half of the 9th. Got to go get them Braves. It's 7-2. AT&T, we think possible. New pitcher for the Nats here in the 9th is Tyler Clippard.
Check out his record. 39 games. He's got 13 decisions, all out of the bullpen. He's 8-5, and for almost the whole first month of the season, if not the first 6 weeks, he was leading the National League in wins. All out of the bullpen.
Other defensive changes for the Nats. Willie Harris is now in left for Josh Willingham. And they've swapped Adams at first base. Dunn is out. Kennedy is in. All right, 5-run game. Troy Gloss to lead it off. watch the motion on Clippard.
Yeah, it is all elbows and kneecaps.
Strike one at 91.
More strikeouts than innings pitched. Right over the top. Hides the ball well. Throws his front arm at you with the glove in it, waving all over the place. Got those goggles on. Not sure if you can even see.
To telegraph that breaking ball, but it's 0-2. Really slowed down his motion.
He sure did.
Troy looking for his first hit of the night. He's 0 for 3. And really the Nats have kind of shut down the Braves' engine room tonight. Nothing in the 3, 4, 5, 6 hole.
You get the leadoff guy on, you never know what might happen.
The 2-2. Grounded to third. Ryan Zimmerman waits. One down. Barakinski has struck out. Grounded this first twice. A real hot shot to Adam Dunn his last time. Made a great play. Clippard doing what he's supposed to do, throwing strikes, getting ahead.
And he now leads the majors in innings pitched in relief. 48 1/3.
That ball's hit hard to right. Bernardina near the line, 2 down.
Too much topspin, I think, Ernie. Hit it hard. Well, the news not so good. Mets have tied up Florida, and the Phillies have retaken the lead, going to the bottom of the 10th. Phillies with a 3 spot in the top of the 10th. And there's David Wright again in the middle of another Mets rally. What a month of June he's had.
So Philadelphia trying to close to 2.5. Mets trying to close to 0.5 if they can complete that comeback against Florida in Puerto Rico. Braves are down to their last out. Linnell is 0 for 2 with a walk. Braves have managed just 5 hits. 7-11-0 for the Nationals. This will be right down the pipe.
That rally for the Phillies in the 10th inning came off a guy that a lot of people have been touting for the All-Star game as a setup man, Arthur Rhodes. Rhodes had only given up 1 run all year this year. Before tonight, Phillies got 3 off of him in the 10th.
Had that big consecutive scoreless appearances streak out the window. Hal points out it's been 33 straight. As you know, fouls back to the screen.
Good swing by Escobar. He was right on that pitch.
The 3-2. And it ends with a called third strike to Yunel Escobar. The Nationals put an end to a 5-game losing streak behind a solid start by Craig Stammen.